you are ready, we'll start in tabletop pose. And then right away, start to just, if you can, move into cat-cows, right? So on your inhale, feel the belly drop down and feel the tailbone rise. And then on your exhale, you'll round the upper back, drop your chin to your chest. And see if you can move with your own breath here. So inhales bring you into cow pose. Exhales bring you into cat. Do that just a few times just to warm up the spine. If you want to add in lateral movement side to side, you of course can. And then once you feel that you've created a little bit more mobility in the spine rather, walk your hands up your thighs. You'll come up onto your knees. Start to reach the arms out and up overhead. Big breath in. Interlace your fingers above your head. Flip your palms up towards the sky and just look up at your hands here. Start to open up through the front, a little bit of a back bend. And then as you exhale, take your arms out to the sides. Your palms will face forward to start. And then turn your thumbs down so your palms turn behind you. Start to bend at the elbows and place one hand on top of the other on your low back. And then think about your elbows starting to draw back a bit. And as a result, the heads of your shoulders draw back in space. You start to broaden across the chest, maybe start to lift the chin. So you start to open up a little more again through the front. And then look straight ahead, release the arms out to the side. And then bring them back down to the ground, tabletop pose. A breath in to find cow. A breath out to find cat. And then come back to neutral. Start to walk your hands back up your thighs. We're going to do that sort of the same, but you're going to step your right foot forward. So just coming into an easy lunge. Doesn't have to be like the deepest lunge you've ever taken. Start to reach your arms out and up or up overhead. Big breath in. And then take the arms wide right away, like the letter T. Now this time, send the back of your hands back behind you, like almost like someone was holding onto your wrists and just gently pulling them back behind you a bit. Maybe even lift the chin. And then as you exhale, wrap your right arm on top of the left, like you're giving yourself a hug here. And then maybe even pull that space in between your shoulder blades apart a bit more and round like you would in cat pose. So nice. Come back up. Open the arms wide on a breath in. And then bring your hands to your hips. Right knee comes to meet the left. And then you'll switch. Left foot forward. Reach the arms overhead on an inhale. And then hands go wide like the letter T on an exhale. Big breath in to pull the back of your hands back. Chest opens. And then exhale, left arm will wrap on top of the right. Like you're giving yourself a hug. And then if you want to curl forward a bit to find that deepening of the space in between your shoulder blades, go for that. And then come back up, open the arms wide. Bring your hands to your hips. Left knee comes to meet the right, back to tabletop pose. So this is kind of like home base for today. A breath in to find cow. A breath out to find cat. Come back to neutral. And then we're just gonna come to a seat. So you're gonna bring your legs around in front of you. And as you sit up nice and tall here, I'll even switch my direction here so you can see the front of my body a little bit more. So you'll come to a seat nice and neutral if you can. Sit up nice and tall on an inhale. Maybe even open up your mouth. As you exhale, soften the shoulders away from the ears. And then drop your chin to the center of your chest for a bit. Feel the back of your neck lengthen. Roll your right ear over to the right. And then chin back to the center of your chest. Left ear over to the left. And back to center. Maybe lift your chin, lift your face. Open through the throat. And then look straight ahead. Start to reach your arms out and up. Big breath in here. And drop the right hand down and just tip over to the right. See if you can lean over to the right, but then reach with your left fingertips a little bit more. Now take your left hand and like you were almost tracing the horizon in front of you, bring it down over to the left, like you're reaching away from the top of your head here. And then like you did before, turn your palm back behind you, bend the left elbow, bring your left hand to your low back. Now, as you start to keep tipping over to the right, I want you to start to bring your left shoulder head, feel it draw behind you a little more. You can either keep the weight of your head heavy towards your right shoulder. If that feels good. Maybe you start to take your gaze up towards the ceiling or down towards the ground. Lots of different ways to find this stretch. All just depends on where you're holding tension, right? And we hold tension differently. So just take a moment to explore that. See if you can take a few breaths to soften something along the way. And then keep your left hand where it is, sit up. You're going to keep the left hand here. Now reach the right arm up overhead. And then let that right elbow bend. So you just drape your right hand over towards your left ear. Lots of right and lefts. So your forearm rather, just lands on top of your head here. Take a breath in to sit up tall. And then if you want, think about tipping over to the left a little more. You get a different stretch across the right side. A lot of just like upper body, shoulder, and even lateral movement. As you sit back up, reach the arms out like a T. Bring the palms together in front of you. And then bring your thumbs to the center of your chest. Take a breath in, shrug shoulders. And a breath out, draw them back and down. Let the hands release to your knees. Close your eyes for a moment. And you might even just take a slow, subtle movement, or moment rather, to observe maybe the difference for a moment between right and left. For me, sometimes it feels good to move the neck around because just creating space allows for more freedom and more mobility in the spine, especially in the neck, in the upper back, sometimes even in the lower back as well. Take a full breath in. Maybe open your mouth, exhale slowly. One more like that, big breath in. Breathe out. And start to reach the arms out and up overhead. Just like you did before, sit up nice and tall. And you'll drop the left hand down. And now you repeat that on the other side. You're just gonna tip the body over to the left, right? And see if you can really create a curve in your spine. So you're pressing your right sit bone, your right hip, still down towards the ground, right? Not just tipping your whole body over to the left, but keeping your seat firmly planted and then reaching your right fingertips away from your right hip to create that lateral stretch. Now, keeping your palm facing the ground, you're going to trace the horizon like you did before. Right arm comes in front of you. And then you'll reach the right fingertips away from the top of your head. Turn the thumb down, palm facing back. Bend the right elbow to bring that right hand to your low back somewhere, wherever it feels comfortable. Now you can keep with your head hanging heavy here. And then maybe start to encourage that right shoulder head to open up towards the ceiling a bit more. Like it's just rolling that shoulder back. And then again, choose to keep the head heavy, let it hang. Maybe look towards the ground, that feels good. Maybe look up towards the ceiling, that feels better or different. Maybe you find movement in the neck rather than staying static here. You're here just for 2 more rounds of breath. And start to keep the right hand where it is. You'll lift the torso back up, so just coming up to a seat. Now sit up nice and tall as you reach the left hand high. Drape the left forearm on top of the head. Just let it land. And then maybe start to lift up through that left elbow a little more. Stay or tip over to the right. And it can be just like a micro movement here, because you still have to activate some muscles in the core to keep that stability so you don't just tip over completely to the right. And then come up, reaching both arms wide. Bring the hands in front of you, reach forward until the palms touch. And then bring your thumb tips to the center of your chest. Again, shrug the shoulders, a big shoulder roll here. Draw them back and down. Maybe do that one more time if it feels good. And then let the hands come to your knees. Sitting up nice and tall here. Take a full breath in. Long breath out. Maybe with the eyes closed, you bring your awareness to your breath. So taking a sense of a little bit of relaxation here in a seat. If you really would like to lie down, and that is something you've been looking forward to, I won't take that from you. By all means, you can lie down. But we'll be here for just a few more moments to land in a space of observation. And maybe with that, you reduce the need to react, or you increase that time between stimulus and response. Maybe filling that space with breath. So you lessen that need to react. And the breath creates that space in between. What you notice, what you hear. Slow breath out. Yourself that gift of presence here. And that gift of a little more ease. Maybe even lessening the need for perfection. And giving yourself grace and a little more patience. Which then in turn can hopefully allow you to cultivate a little more patience and presence with others and those around you. Take a breath in again, fill all the way up. And maybe open up your mouth, letting out just a slow exhale, slow, it's like a sigh. And do that a few more times if you need. Nice and tall. Again, big breath in. Long exhale out. And then for one last movement here before we close, start to take your hands out to the side if you can for a moment. And for this last heart opener here, take your hands then behind you, just like reach behind you. And then maybe start to tip back to the point where your fingertips touch the ground here. So you're tenting the hands behind you. And then maybe feel the arms rotate a little bit further out to the right and left. So you really feel the heads of the shoulders open up, and then you lift your chin, lift your face. That feels okay. Might feel nice. Especially after taking the seeds for a while. Chin back towards your chest, look forward, sit up tall, hands to your knees to start. Breath in, breath out. Maybe let your hands return to your heart center here. You might even bow your chin, your head towards that space. And giving yourself this gift of presence, even just for a breath or two or three, or for this time where you move your body and you're just right here where you are. Maybe you take that off your mat and into the rest of your day, into the rest of your week, just noticing a bit more. And giving yourself that gift of breath or presence, maybe before you react. Again, a full breath in and out. You might even take your thumb tips up to your forehead, lift your chin, lift your face. Namaste.